Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel, and this is to answer the questions that a lot of people got wrong and to understand what is going to happen with Windows 10 and how extended supports are going to work, because there's too many people actually mentioning the wrong information, and I get the questions all the time, so we'll kind of repeat it. I did this video probably last year at some point at the end of the year, and we're going to actually make it a little more actual with what we know. So, what do we know? First of all, Windows 10 is getting end of support this year, and that is because it finished its a little more than 10-year cycle. It was a operating system that was released on July 29th, 2015. Once again, some of you were there back then. We were all anxious to see this new OS. And it has reached the end of the cycle. And so it is on October 14th of this year going to get its last security updates. Now, Windows 10, Microsoft announced, will have, for the first time on the consumer side, because Windows versions on the business side always add 3 years of support in general, and it was always very expensive. And the same is true with Windows 10. But most people are taking the numbers of the business support and think that's what it's going to cost for consumers, which is not the case. Also, business will have 3 years, but Microsoft did announce only 1 year for Windows 10 on the consumer market. So their idea right now is that, you'll have extended support for 1 year only. There is no talk right now of more than 1 year. So that means that, contrary to the business side, once you pay $30, and that's the price, $30 for that 1 year, you will get updates until, I believe it's November of 2026. So if you pay the $30, in effect, your Windows 10 machine, it's still good for almost 2 years. I mean, minus the few months now that we've gone into 2025. So it gives you some time still before anything happens. But of course, the questions that are asked often is, do you think Microsoft could extend that 1 year to 2 years, or Look, anything's possible. Microsoft changes its mind regularly on all sorts of things. So anything is possible. Absolutely, it could happen. Now, we'll see if I'm right, but I don't think it will. And I don't think it will because by that time, Windows 11 will have had moved probably to the 50% mark, if not more. And that time is going to be, well, you know what? Move on. Move on. That's it. Buy a new PC. So that's important to understand that for now it's 1 year and it's $30. But that said, you can have it more than 1 year. We talked about it. There's Zero Patch. Zero Patch is a company that creates and extends software security updates for all sorts of things, not just operating systems, even software that people use regularly. They will actually have a lot of these software updates for a while. As long as it's popular enough that they make money, they continue and do these updates. So for Zero Patch, which will be something like in the same pricing range pretty much, you might have 2-3 years maybe 4 years. It all depends on how popular Windows 10 will stay. And that, of course, is a third-party company, and they stick to what's important in updates. And so there's that option. It is available where you can actually extend it more than 1 year. It's something to do, think about. So Windows 10 will not stop working. That's also something a lot of people are afraid. I mean, you could, if there was a possibility to have drivers, run Windows 98 on a PC if you wanted. It would work. It never stopped working. It's just that there's no support, no drivers. It's useless. And Windows 10 will be the same. It's going to continue with that. And this is the different possibilities. These are the different possibilities that you have with Windows 10. One that I get also is, well, I get a big ad or big pop-up that says that, I better move on and buy a new PC. Yeah, because they are pushing that side of things. So you might have a pop-up on your screen in Windows 10 that takes full screen. It says, oh, well, you got to move on to Windows 11 because Windows 10's end of support. There's no talk about extended support because they don't want to talk about it. It's very simple. Microsoft does not want to talk about extended support. It actually is something that probably makes them go crazy that they have to support Windows 10 for a year for consumers. They don't want that. They would rather have you buy a new PC. So that means they're going to annoy you. They're not going to say the full truth because you have to read it. The last one that I've read says will not have free security updates. So there's that little phrase there. They're not saying, there's not going to be any. They're just going to say it's not going to be free. And that is where you got to read between the lines of whatever Microsoft writes. It is to be announced, according to a lot of people, very late. So October is when Windows 10 end of support happens. Well, August, maybe even September, pop up. Okay, we've got extended support for Windows 10. If you want to subscribe for that year, it's $30. Click here and pay. That's what's going to happen. And last but not least, Microsoft has never said Windows 10 was the last version of Windows ever. It does fall back to a developer that said that phrase at some conference, and Microsoft never really corrected it, basically. Was it intended to be a forever operating system? There's a lot of debate, but one of them was that when Windows 11 arrived, for a while it was supposed to be a big Windows 10 upgrade. So could they have changed their minds? Maybe some people at Microsoft thought maybe Windows 10 was a forever operating system. It's a debate, and it could have maybe, but one of the things that is for sure is that it's not Microsoft itself that said that phrase. It's a developer at a conference. Was it under the intention that you've heard maybe some people in Microsoft say, well, let's just stick with Windows 10? Who knows? It's possible. So anyways, that's pretty much the straight dope on what is happening with the end of support of Windows 10. And I hope it answered all your questions. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.